Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of KTN Newsdesk. We do apologize for the delay, but this show will continue as is. Of course, we're bringing you the news as it happens, and we begin with news that the outspoken Homa Bay Senator Gerald Otieno Kajwang has died. He passed away Tuesday night at Mater Hospital in Nairobi due to a cardiac arrest. And we begin here in Nairobi, where the family is gathered at the Lee Funeral Home to pay respects to the late Senator Otieno Kajwang. Kajwang died late last night of what is believed to have been heart failure. And in yet another tragic turn, latest news from Homa Bay say that Kajwang's father has been rushed to hospital after he collapsed on receiving the news. Now, we shall be speaking to Fred Omulo from there in just a few moments. But first, to the Lee Funeral Home, Betty Kialo begins our coverage.
At the Lee Funeral Home, where the late senator's body lay, a somber mood as family members and various leaders gathered to pay respect to an unmistakable figure in the country's politics. A painful moment, especially for family. Leaders recounted their last moments, with many of them saying that it was a life cut short.
Otieno Kajwang was a man who was never afraid of saying the truth, however painful. I've had occasion to work with him very closely, and I know that was a very trusted friend of our brother Raila Odinga.
As a team leader in the Senate, Gerald Otieno Kajwang has been one of the most dependable senators in the CORD fraternity. He represented us in most critical committees, and his production in those committees was beyond question and reproach.
So we have lost a great man, a man who believed truly in a free, independent, corruption-free Kenya. He dedicated most of his life to fighting for justice.
Kenyans went on social media as early as 1 a.m. to pour out their condolences to the family of the late charming leader. Leaders too recounted their last moments with him, saying he was his cheerful self as late as Tuesday evening. Kajwang is currently admitted at the Aga Khan Hospital in Kisumu after suffering shock on receiving the news. Prayers are underway at his Runda home, where his family has been gathering. In a statement, President Uhuru Kenyatta said the death of Kajwang was a big blow to his family, the people of Homa Bay County, and the whole country. The statement read in part, "It is hard to comprehend how the cruel hand of death has so suddenly snatched Senator Kajwang from our midst. He was an energetic, jovial, and extremely pleasant person to deal with." Deputy President William Ruto sent a message of condolence to the family and people of Homa Bay County, saying he was an astute, dedicated, passionate, and humorous politician. "We have lost a steadfast leader whose contribution to good governance and democracy in the country is evident." CORD leader Raila Odinga called his death a terrible loss to ODM and CORD and sent a message of condolence to his family and party members. He said Senator Kajwang was a very strong and dedicated member in the Senate. He was a great debater. He was an active member nationally and internationally. We join family in mourning this very painful loss of a colleague and patriot. The family is due to release funeral arrangements in the coming hours. Betty Kialo, KTN.
From matters in Nairobi, we have a look at what's happening in Homa Bay. We are now joined by Fred Omulo, who's joining us by way of telephone. Now, Fred, we do understand that the father, Otieno Kajwang's father, is still in hospital. Do you have an update on that?
Yes, Edith. When we arrived at the homestead, which is in Beta constituency, we just got the news that the David Kajwang was being rushed to hospital. He is currently in Aga Khan, Kisumu, where he has gone for a checkup. He had a previous heart condition, and currently he suffered shock when he received the news. The late Senator's youngest brother, Moses Otieno, who was with him yesterday in hospital and was there when he was pronounced dead, was sent to the village today morning, and he arrived here with the news, and upon revealing what had happened to their father, he suffered shock and was rushed to Aga Khan Hospital in Kisumu.
Now, Fred, you did say that you spoke to Otieno Kajwang's brother, Moses Kajwang. Could you please tell us what, if any, insights he gave you into what happened last evening?
Moses basically said that the senator was suffering chest pain. Basically, the information we already have. And when he was taken to Mata, they were there for about 2 hours. The doctors came out and said that he had suffered a massive heart attack and pronounced him dead at 11:32 p.m. And it is at that point that they had a quick gathering with the immediate family, and he was sent over to Homa Bay here. We did an interview with him, which you will receive in subsequent bulletins, in which he spoke of their plans as a family. They will be having a meeting at 2 p.m. today to form a committee that will coordinate all the arrangements for the burial on this side of the country, whilst another committee will operate from Nairobi. He also gave us the impressions he's had of his late brother, the senator, who served the constituency for 15 years as the MP from 1997 until last year when he was elected senator.
Okay, Fred, you rightly put it, Otieno Kajwang was the Mbita MP for 15 years before he was elected senator. I'm assuming the people there must be in shock. He was quite a political fixture there.
The amount of shock, consternation, grief that is there is so immense. When we arrived there, people were not even in tears. And as is the custom here, when someone great dies, or even just someone ordinary, there'll usually be a lot of wailing, a lot of grieving in the compound. That didn't start until later because they were so shocked. They were so shocked that someone who was such a fixture, such a strong part of their life, such a key part of the political system in this side of the country had passed on at such an early age, 55 years old.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Fred Omulo. He is keeping tabs on what's happening in Homa Bay, saying that the family will begin their meetings at 2 p.m. We'll, of course, have more details of this very sad and shocking story in our subsequent bulletin. But, you know, the late Senator Otieno Kajwang was known and has been described as a charismatic politician, fiercely loyal to his party. He was best known for the Mapambano tune that was belted out at every political rally. KTN's managing editor, Joe Ageo, now takes a look at his colorful journey through life and politics.
At the Mata Hospital in Nairobi, leaders from both sides of the political divide gathered minutes after news spread that the Homa Bay senator was no more.
Otieno Kajwang.
It fell on his younger brother, the MP for Ruaraka, TJ Kajwang, to convey the tragic news.
On behalf of Mzee David Ajwang Nyakwamba, I want to let the nation know that about 11:34 last night, because now we are in a different day, last night, Senator passed away. I'm overwhelmed by the condolences that we are receiving from the members of public. I'm overwhelmed by the support and spiritual, emotional support that we are getting from the leadership. The body will be transferred right now to the Lee mortuary, where viewing can be done. I want to tell the nation that in this time of grief, as a family, we need prayers.
And messages of condolences from those who served with him.
What's happened this evening is a great shock to many of us. It just confirmed the finite nature of our lives, and we have to face the reality that we will not have Senator Otieno Kajwang with us any longer. Our deepest condolences and sympathies once more. My brother, Mheshimiwa Kajwang, we are with you. We will support you. We will pray for you.
Details of the cause of death remain scanty, with only initial reports of a cardiac arrest. Indeed, Kajwang appeared to have been in sound health hours before his death. At 12 minutes past 6 p.m., he put out what would be his last tweet, taking a swipe at IEBC officials accused of corruption in the acquisition of election materials. "We said it then," he tweeted. Was covered in local dailies, but emotions carried the day. "Remember the phrase, accept and move on," he quipped, ending with the hashtag Chickengate. Otieno Kajwang, who often electrified crowds with his signature Mapambano song, was born in 1959 and later trained as a lawyer. He would serve as the MP for Mbita between 1998 to 2013, when he would become the first senator of the newly constituted Homa Bay County. Kajwang was regarded by friend and foe as an orator who never shied away from speaking his mind, and was one of the fiercest defenders and allies of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga.
While you are away, bomb, kila pahali. Ukienda pande hii, bomb. Ukienda pande hii, bomb. Ukienda pande hii, ukienda pande hii, bomb, kila pahali. Nimetoka hapa Nyali Hotel, baba hakuna mzungu hata moja. Mswahili analia na watu wa Coast wote wanalia, hakuna kazi. Mzungu ametoroka.
At every turn, Kajwang never missed a punchline.
Uhuru aliweka kwa headline, akasema ati Raila, enda pole pole, cool down. Mimi ndio president. Kwanza Uhuru ajue, we are not cooling down any soon. In fact, it might get hotter. Jikoni itakuwa hot. Uhuru kama, if you don't want to cook, get out of the kitchen.
Kajwang's passing comes at a difficult moment for ODM. But for now, the country is united in eulogizing a man who will immediately be missed in the Senate. And on the political podium, Joageo, KTN.
Very animated character and seasoned politician, something that was clearly visible on the 15th of April when the late Gerald Otieno Kajwang was interviewed on KTN's Morning Express show by James Smart. Now, the politician was a solid supporter of Raila Odinga and believed that he would lead the coalition for reforms and democracy to victory come 2017. In the interview, Kajwang, true to his character, was ever jovial.
Mheshimiwa, the Nyanza politics has changed, has it not?
Yeah, I think so. Since Raila didn't become president.
Yes.
I think there's some people who in their minds wrote him off in Nyanza.
Should he retire? Should he leave politics now? I mean, he's tried. People are saying, listen, you've done your best. You've gone, 2-3 times. Leave it to young Turks.
I think that was the thinking of some people, but I don't think he should retire, because in my view, if you asked me, he has the capacity to make ODM what it is already and even grow it. Some of these other people you are talking about don't have that capacity.
But in scheme of things, how ODM looked and some of the young Turks in ODM, they say you're part of the people that they want to retire in politics. Are you considering retiring in politics anytime soon?
Oh no, I'm not retiring. I'm so young. Where am I going? The young Turks should know that I'm equally very young. In politics, I'm telling you that Raila should not retire yet. So I still have a term to go, which I'm going to contest very, vigorously. If somebody was to run against me, they should try. And then after that, if my party still thinks they can use me somewhere else, I'm okay. If my party thinks that I should now rest, I'll be happy. I think I will have served very well, and I'll be happy.
This Mapambano song, tell me its origin, where it comes from, and you cannot leave this day without giving us. And when you're going to record this song?
First, it started that day. I told you we were at Ndolo's constituency when we were starting to launch this protest, and somehow it interested many listeners, and somehow it developed into a movement song. And now when I look at it, the way we sang it, I say, my God, this is really something.
There, it's your camera.
Vijana musilale, lale lale, vijana musilale, madum pambano, pambano, pambano.
He's certainly a man from that clip who enjoyed his life and enjoyed a good laugh. And that's just a little bit of what we know about Otieno Kajwang, the late Otieno Kajwang. And here's more in pictures.
Mimi, Gerald Otieno Kajwang, naapa kwamba nitakuwa mwaminifu kwa Jamhuri ya Kenya na kutumikia kwa moyo wangu wote.
I just want to share with you what I think in my own opinion.
Ni watu gani hawa? Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie.
Well, we'll continue to follow that story and give you any details if and when they do develop in our subsequent bulletins. But our thoughts and prayers are certainly with his family and friends as they go through this difficult period. To other news making headlines this afternoon, and crude weapons, petrol bombs, a hand grenade, 6 bullets and a flag were recovered during a staged police raid on Swafa Mosque in Kisauni in Mombasa. It is a raid that came just hours after Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Olelenku said that some of the youth arrested from the Sakina and Musa mosques in similar raids in Mombasa were planning to take over other mosques in the region. According to the police, the 2 mosques were being used as armories and were largely contributing to the spat of insecurity witnessed in the coastal region. More than 200 youth have so far been arrested within Majengo in Mombasa, with police intensifying their fight against radicalization of youth. In his latest raid, 110 youth were arrested.
It is obviously clear that a lot more than preaching and prayers is taking place in these mosques. And we shall not relent. We shall pursue those radicals to every corner. I want to urge parents to think twice, to stop and ponder where.
And the Capital Markets Authority has kicked off an investor education and public awareness campaign in Kisumu in a bid to showcase the investment opportunities available for local investors based at the counties. Now, the authority has been running a campaign to increase knowledge on the country's capital markets and specifically on trading and participating in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The authority is also seeking to attract attention from the country's youth population. The campaign will run through to the 22nd of November.
We know that the youth are somewhere between 60 and 75% in terms of the Kenyan population. Actually, to be specific, around 75%. And they need to have some kind of livelihood and engagement. And what we are offering in the capital markets is really the products or the vehicles that they can use for savings. We have already visited 14 counties, and we expect within the next 4 years we should have covered most, if not all, the counties.
Time now to wind up this edition of KTN Newsdesk. We do thank you for your company and urge you to look at our website, www.standardmedia.co.ke. I'm just scrolling through it right now. A lot of interesting stories which are emerging, and of course that one of the late Homa Bay Senator Otieno Kajwang, and details which are unraveling throughout the day. Now, did you know if you drink more, you earn more? Studies show that drinkers earn 10 to 14% more money than those who don't. And men who visit bars at least once a month earn an additional 7% more. Why, you ask? Well, CEOs claim it's due to the connection between socializing and career advancement. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know how coming to work with a hangover is going to help your career advancement, but that's just me. My name is Edith Kimani. Good afternoon.